At this point, I've watched almost everyone I once knew disappear.
My partner is gone. My closest friends are gone. Even the people I once argued with.
Gone. And somewhere along the way, I also outgrew the version of myself that cared too much about opinions. Now I'm standing near the edge of life, looking down the final slope. And before I take that last step, I feel a responsibility to turn back and warn you. Because from where I stand, I can see something clearly that you can't yet. You are living as if time is unlimited. You wake up, scroll, delay, postpone, and convince yourself there's always later. Later to rest, later to love, later to live. But what you don't realize is, later is a promise no one has ever been guaranteed. You think you understand death. You've heard about it, seen it, maybe even experienced loss, but you don't feel it. Not really. Because if you truly felt how close it always is, your choices would look very different. Let me tell you about someone I once knew. His name was Daniel. This was decades ago. He was everything people admire. Sharp, confident, successful. The kind of man who walked into a room and owned it without trying. We used to sit together after long work days, talking about the future. One night, he leaned back in his chair, smiling like a man who had it all figured out. He said, "Just a few more years, I'll push hard, hit my targets, and then I'll finally slow down, travel, enjoy life, do all the things I've been putting off." It sounded reasonable, smart even. 3 days later, he collapsed outside his office, heart attack. He never got those few more years. And the saddest part wasn't that he died. We all do. The real tragedy was that he postponed living for a future that never arrived. A week later, I went to his office to help clear his desk. His calendar was still full. Meetings scheduled, deadlines waiting, emails marked urgent. Life didn't pause because he was gone. Within weeks, someone else was sitting in his chair. Within months, his name stopped coming up. And within a year, it was like he had never been there at all. And when I look at people today, I see the same pattern. I'll enjoy life when I earn more. Let me be brutally honest with you. There is no perfect time. There is only now. Every time you trade today for a someday, you're placing a bet. And it's a dangerous one, because you're betting with something you don't actually control. Now let's talk about something else, your obsession with things. You're chasing possessions like they define your worth. Bigger house, better car, newer phone. But I have lived long enough to see how that story ends. At this stage in my life, everything I own fits into a small room. A bed, a chair, a few memories. That's it. And I can tell you with complete certainty, all the things I once worked so hard to accumulate meant far less than I thought they would. When people die, their belongings don't follow them. Someone else sorts through it, keeps a few items, and discards the rest. What you're stressing over today will eventually become someone else's clutter. So why exhaust yourself chasing it? Why sacrifice moments that actually matter for things that won't? You won't realize the cost immediately. That's the trap. It only becomes clearer when time is almost gone, and by then, you can't undo the trade. And that brings me to something important. If everything you're chasing isn't what truly matters, then what does? I'll tell you. But first, you need to understand one more truth, and it might change how you see your entire life. Because the biggest mistake isn't just wasting time, it's misunderstanding what actually makes life valuable. And once you see it, you won't live the same way again. Let me tell you about one of the proudest moments of my life. It was years ago. I had just received a major award, a room full of people applauding, shaking my hand, calling my name. For a moment, I felt unstoppable, like I had finally made it. That night, I went home carrying that trophy, like it meant everything. But when I walked through the door, the house was silent. My family was asleep. No applause, no celebration, just stillness. I sat alone at the table, staring at that award, and something hit me hard. The people who clapped for me didn't truly care about me. They cared about what I represented in that moment. But the people who actually loved me, I had been too busy to show up for them. I had missed dinners, conversations, small moments that never come back. And suddenly, that trophy didn't feel like a victory anymore. It felt like evidence of what I had traded away. And here's the truth most people avoid. Your work is not your life. It's an exchange. You give your time, and you get something in return. But the hours you spend, those are gone forever. If you disappeared tomorrow, your role would be filled, your position replaced. But the people who love you, they would feel that absence in a way no job ever could. So don't build your identity around something that can replace you overnight. Now, if success, money, and possessions aren't the answer, what is? It's simple. And yet most people miss it. The only things that truly stay with you are the moments you shared and the impact you had on others. The laughter, the kindness, the time you gave. Those don't fade the same way everything else does. When I sit quietly now, I don't think about deals or achievements. I remember conversations, faces, small, ordinary moments that didn't seem important at the time, but turned out to be everything. So here's what I want you to take with you. First, stop letting fear control your decisions. You worry too much about how you're perceived. But the truth is, most people are too busy thinking about themselves to focus on you. Don't let imagined judgment stop you from living fully. Second, start appreciating moments as if they're limited, because they are. One day, every routine you have will happen for the last time. You just won't know when. And third, wake up. You have energy, health, opportunity, and you're spending it distracted, disconnected, waiting for something to change. Nothing changes unless you do. Go outside, breathe deeply, talk to people you've been avoiding, fix what's broken while you still can, because in the end, life isn't measured by how safe you played it. It's measured by whether you truly experienced it. Most people don't. They stay comfortable, they delay, they wait. And then one day, time runs out. Don't let that be your story, because the clock isn't slowing down. It's getting quieter. And the real question is, when your moment comes, will you feel like you lived or just existed?